My name's Aaron. I'm from Brisbane, Australia. I go by the player name of Tulf, which is Tulf. CEO of Keep It Classy. I run fighting game tournaments in Brisbane. Fighting games, I've been playing since Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Used to play in the arcades, very big into Third Strike. Definitely the Alpha series was my biggest one for quite some time now. Games I play, I used to play Injustice. I mained that when it came out, but over time, as most people have done, I dropped it. It just wasn't enjoying it anymore. I occasionally play Street Fighter. I'm trying to get better at AE. In AE, I play Blanca and Guile. Starting out learning charged characters more than anything. I feel they're pretty easy for me to learn. Apart from that, the only other game I really main is Marvel. In that, I usually play Nova, Spencer, Doom. Anything with Doom in it. Doom's usually my team. The competitive scene, I always watched online from home and saw what the guys were doing in Melbourne and around the world, and something I always wanted to get involved with. So it was from that love, and just really there was no scene I could see in Brisbane, really. So I just started my own and started inviting people, and it blew up, which was awesome. The fighting game community in Brisbane is a bit different, I guess. I mean, but not so much. Like, there's the Tekken community, which is always sort of segregated and separate. Same with the anime. I'm trying to bring them all together and all as one. At our weekly meetups, we usually have a lot of guys playing AE. AE is the big game at the moment for us. Of course, usually we classify it as the Marvel state, and we do have a lot of good Marvel players. But everyone's just really hype and has a good time and gets together and plays whatever. As long as we're playing fighting games, it doesn't really matter. I run basically a weekly sort of get-together. There's not really any tournament or seeding at these. It's just really casuals. We have every few months or so, there's an organisation called Smash that do computer lands. We do fighting games there as well, and usually have mini tournaments there. So they're seasonal, so every Easter, Christmas, spring, things like that. So yeah, and going to be Buttonsmash in future every year, hopefully, as well. That's the plan. The motivation for me to do all this stuff is really seeing how everyone comes together as a family and has fun together. Fighting games always been one of my favorite games, and I love to play it, and I love to see people play it and have fun together. Keep It Classy started off as an idea between myself and my best friend Gabriel, that the way video games are going, especially competitively, they're changing. Internet play is becoming more common. It's very common to taunt your opponent in very bad ways using bad language and stuff like that, especially in scenes like League of Legends and stuff. Call of Duty, it's very common. We wanted to sort of create a hate-free environment that everyone could come together and play no matter what game or no matter what skill level, and that's really where that was born. We wanted to start with fighting games because that was our favorite genre, and it just went from there. Tulf comes from my first gamer tag from the original Xbox on Xbox Live. I wanted the original. I was a bit younger then. I wanted just the name Shadow, but obviously it was taken. I played a lot of Sonic Adventure 2, and the character Shadow was called Shadow the Ultimate Life Form. So I basically called myself Shadow Tulf, and then just over the years I dropped the Shadow, and it's just Tulf, so it stands for the Ultimate Life Form. This is my first time hosting a major. So it was very stressful for me. I had an idea of what I wanted to do and how I need to achieve it, but just starting out, obviously I didn't have any equipment. I only had a few Xboxes and PlayStations and things like that. So the biggest challenge for me was finding the revenue to get the equipment. Also, the venue was tricky. There's not a lot of great venues in Brisbane that are suitable. And also we had to change a venue at 2 weeks out from date, very unexpectedly, which was just crazy stressful. This year's Buttonsmash came about because I did want to run it last year, but I just ran out of time in the year. It's very hard to run a major fighting game tournament late in the year, especially in Australia. People got family time at Christmas, things like that. I knew I wanted to do it last year, but I just couldn't get the time, the money together to do it. So it just had to go on hold. That's why I wanted to have it as early as possible this year, so there wasn't too long a gap between the last major we had in Queensland. I'd love to see all TOs from every state working together to organise a circuit event that's a mainstay. So we've got specific dates every year, so we know they're not going to fluctuate. Maybe build up to seeding points to overseas tournaments as well. I think we need to develop the Australian scene, tournament scene, a lot more before we expand into international. And once we've got a collaboration down in every single tournament structured in a circuit type environment, I think overseas will take a lot more interest as well. In Brisbane, I got the impression that everyone was just really nice. Like, they wanted to get together and play. The first week up we had, meetup, we put on Facebook, and about 4 or 5 people showed up, which was really cool because it was usually just Gabe and I playing every week by ourselves. And the next week, people just kept coming to our door. We ended up having, I think, about 16 people, and we only had 2 setups. And I think it was really, the guys were really impressed because I said, look, we've only got 2 setups. Next week, I'll have double the setups and all that stuff. And they came next week and I had double the setups. And people have been coming steady ever since because I've been basically making promises and keeping them, and everyone's been awesome and friendly, and there's not a bad word I can say about anyone who's come to our house to play. The only the only major I went to last year was Shadaloo Showdown, which was my first Shadaloo Showdown and my first major. Usually I work weekends, so it makes it hard for me to get out to those things unless I book time off in events. It was a great experience. I've never been to Melbourne, and I know a lot of guys from there, and they made me feel really welcome, and it was just an awesome time. Everyone was playing games all weekend and just talking friendly smack to each other, and it was a great time. If you want to get started in fighting games in Brisbane, it's pretty easy. I mean, we have our Facebook page, the Brisbane Fighters, which is quite easy to get into. Otherwise, I mean, our thread's up on Australian as well for our weekly meetups, and I've got my website, keepitclassy.com, and it's really easy. I'm always around and posting, and we welcome anyone in. I'd like to see, obviously, Buttonsmash every year. Very structured, very professional. I've got a very big idea in my head of where I'd like it to see with time and money. But apart from that, I just want to keep seeing people improve. Like, from our first meetup, I've seen guys come in who had no skill in fighting games, nothing at all, and everyone has given them a hand every week. The ins and outs of what to do and being patient, and they're at a new level now that I didn't think they'd ever get to, just from people being nice to them and showing them how to do it, and them just playing every week. It's just the dedication. No, not in Brisbane. Like, everyone, if a new person shows up, everyone says hello, introduces themselves, plays friendlies with them, explains if they're losing really badly, what they're doing, how to improve. I think the fighting game mythos of everyone's unwelcome and friendly is just down to personal experience. I mean, people who receive good service don't complain, but people who receive bad service do. So for every person that complains, I think there's at least 10 people who had a great, amazing time. There's lots. I mean, the weather in Queensland's usually pretty good. It's pretty sunny, so if you like outdoor activities, that's always good. I took some of the guys from Melbourne to Dreamworld on Friday, and they had a ball. It's an amusement park with thrill rides and stuff like that. Got some pretty good amusement parks. Apart from that, I don't think there's too much. It's just the normal stuff. There's laser tag arenas around. There's the nightlife here can be interesting. We've got a video game bar here as well. So if you like that, the Manor Bar in Brisbane, run by one of my friends. So it's actually a video game bar. They do video game themed cocktails, and they have screens up on the wall so you can play Wii games and fighting games, stuff like that. So. Yeah, Marvel, we're known as the Marvel State because we do have some really top-tier players. Baxter, Hari, Jake, Loblo, all the guys like that. They're fantastic. Like, the skill they have is ridiculous. I mean, definitely known for Marvel. I've been trying to get some of the guys into Dead or Alive because I really enjoy that, and there's not too many people in Australia who play it. Our Street Fighter guys are there as well, but there's a lot of them are waiting for Ultra, so hopefully, we become known as an AE state as well, or Ultra state as well when that comes out, but I don't think there's really anything signature. I mean, our guys play all the games. There's the Tekken guys, the Smash Brother guys, they're all there. It's really no different to every other state. It's just when you have a few top players in a certain game, and you're classified as that because you see them every tournament just winning and getting top 8. Big shout outs to the people who came before me running the scene. Glassy has been helping out Slapper. Slapper's not really around too much anymore, but he ran it for like 7 years straight before I came, and JB as well, who does the Land Smash stuff, used to do all the fighting game stuff as well, and they did crazy good jobs. Big shout outs to Michael, or Godly Effect. He actually does most of my artwork for Keep It Classy. Very talented artist. Shout outs to Glassy for helping run Buttonsmash all weekend with the brackets. He's awesome at that. There's a lot of people behind the scenes. I mean, I'm really the only known person of Keep It Classy as the organisation. I do a lot of it myself, but I receive a lot of help. Everyone in Queensland's always straight up and helping out. Like, big shout outs to Low Blow for giving me some setups for the weekend, and Colin, who's here recording extra footage and stuff. There's so many people. I mean, and probably biggest shout outs to Ali in Melbourne and his guys, Sol, all those guys, because they gave me the motivation to do this, to keep going and really do it. Like, watching their stream in and out is just to see the passion that they got and that they could do it. Anyone could do it like professional and go through it, and that was great. Last shout outs, of course, to Daniel or Berserk from Couch Warriors, who helped me with sponsorship for this, for Playtronics, to get our headsets and everything. There's just so many people. I could just keep thanking them, but I love everyone. Everyone's awesome, and it's an amazing thing to be in this community. Yeah, you can find me at facebook.com/keepitclassyau. You'll usually see me posting in Brisbane Fighters. I'm also on Twitter at KEC Aaron. Apart from that, yeah, my website, keepitclassy.com. Play hard, fast, and don't fimble. Fine. Play hard, fast, and go ham.
What do you think about this? What do you think about this? What do you think about this?
Well, I don't know. I haven't got the time to play something like that.
You are trying to play a game or two?
Over the last few days, I've been chasing after the
Buttons is really bad. You smash it.
Malaysian airline, the 370. That's more interesting. This morning, they got three crews there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.